Hello, KSR YouTube. Drew Franklin here. Zack Geoghegan, Jack Pilgrim, Tyler Thompson, and we're moving on. Kentucky's moving on. Beating, look at this. They're moving on literally right here. Just did it. 87-82, winning the first round game.
Pretend that was new.
Easy there, Jack. Don't get us tossed out. Look, we're already getting stared down back here. We're already in trouble. We're in trouble, but we're happy. We're going to use our inside voices. It is pouring outside, so today's rapid reaction, you're coming from the media area. Who knows who will walk by? Who knows what other trouble Jack will find by punching things? But we're excited because Kentucky handled its business against LSU, 87-82. And the story of the game, what time was it? It was BG time. Otega Oweh was the leading scorer. We're used to that, Mr. Consistent, but they always need someone else to step up, and today it was Brandon Garrison with 17 points, including a 7-0 Brandon Garrison run that almost had a two-handed and one dunk. Missed the dunk, but makes a free throw, and then the back-to-back threes that set off the crowd here at Bridgestone Arena. Gave Kentucky a 9-point cushion. LSU could never recover from that. We'll start there, Jack Pilgrim. Let's just go ahead and make him our Parlor Pizza Player of the Game, by the way, too, while we're on it. How excited are you? Like I said, Oweh, good game. Aberdeen, good game with 16 points. We're used to that. But Brandon Garrison having his moment. How fun was that?
You never know when it's going to come. I mean, it's just, well, I asked Mo Diabate in the locker room about it. I said, was there anything like in practice to suggest that something like that was coming? He said, nope. Just, you never know when BG time's going to come, and it always happens to be either at the absolute best times or the absolute worst. He did have that offensive foul at the very end where I was like, oh man, I really hope that this doesn't turn into the highest of highs with BG and the lowest of lows, but very fortunately we get to be celebrating a big BG moment. It came up big. Malachi goes down with 2 fouls early, so he stepped up and kind of just stabilized things in the first half, and then he goes on his own run, and those back-to-back threes. Cam said, we heard those little whispers in the crowd when BG went up and started his shot, and I kind of turned around and gave the crowd a little shush. We're very confident in BG when he takes shots, so I'm glad Cam is confident in BG.
Otega said that he knew Brandon was going to take that second one after the first one. He said, "Oh, he's taking another one immediately after that."
We all knew that Brandon was going to take that second one. I love Pope. He was asked if Brandon has the green light, and Pope said, yes, Brandon always has the green light. And he's like, and I could hear BBN when he went to go take that first three. They were all like, shoot it, Brandon, shoot it. And I was like, we all like shoot it, but it went in twice. He doubled his 3-point total for the season. So I love it. Full Brandon Garrison experience.
I will say we could kind of see this coming. I was here very early. In fact, I was the first person here. They wouldn't even let me in. I was so early. But I was here when Kentucky's team arrived. And honestly, most of the team looked asleep. But it was 9:30 in the morning. LSU looked asleep, too. We were all asleep. I was asleep. But in the very back of the parade was Otega Oweh and Brandon Garrison. And they were in here laughing, joking, cutting up, had some energy, some enthusiasm. And I thought, are we going to have a BG game? Now, I didn't imagine anything like what happened. But I will say, the moment those two walked in the building, you could see that they came prepared. And the other guys got it going, too. But there were a lot of zombies here at 9:30 in the morning, but not Brandon Garrison. Otega Oweh, just one after another of these games. 23 points tonight, or today, this morning, whenever it was. I don't know what time it is. But huge games from him. And, as I said, you got to have a third person step up. But we just got to keep having Oweh stack these games, too. And one down so far where he was last year in this spot, played some heroics in the first game.
Yeah. Take the handoff here. Yeah, Otega was 23 points, like you said, Drew. He hit the biggest shot of the game. 70 seconds left. Hit his signature little pull-up shot there, the jumper that I kind of hate half the time, but when it goes in, it sure is nice and it looks pretty. So big shot from him. He was very aggressive getting to the rim there in the second half as well, trying to kind of assert himself. I think he was like maybe 10 free throw attempts, 8 free throw attempts, something like that. So he was great, just being Kentucky's best player. And then you got Denzel. You got some good moments from him as well. Actually, right after Brandon Garrison hit both of his 3-pointers, that's when Denzel Aberdeen stuck his tongue out at the LSU player who he had just hit that floater over. So you could even tell, even Denzel Aberdeen was like, okay, I'm feeding off Brandon Garrison's energy here. I'm sticking my tongue out at the opponent here. Got hit with a technical foul. You're probably going to get hit with that technical foul 9 times out of 10. But it was made a little funny faces going by. But yeah, that was a weak technical foul. But you're going to get that one 9 times out of 10. But it capped off a very cool moment where Bridgestone Arena really felt like Rupp Arena. And honestly, it did from start to finish. It was probably 60% full, the crowd was, maybe more as the game went on. 99% of them were. I don't even think we saw a single LSU fan, honestly, that I can remember. So capping that run off there, that put Kentucky up 9 after being up 1 point. So that was really the big moment there with 10 minutes left in the second half. So all Denzel, Brandon Garrison, Otega Oweh, that's our new 3-headed goat, right?
What would that be? I can't do
No,
that.
AOC,
I can't do
yeah.
that on the fly. Shout out Friends of Cole, by the way. I forgot to mention Friends of Cole. We love you, Friends of Cole. All the Rapid Reaction sponsors, check them out, friendsofcolekentucky.org, to learn all the great things Cole does Kentucky. Probably down here in Tennessee a little bit, even though we don't love it down here in Tennessee. Kentucky's much better. And Friends of Cole takes care of Kentucky. He mentioned the crowd, Jack. We go to every game in Rupp Arena, and I love Rupp Arena. Rupp Arena has great games. Just last Saturday against Florida, didn't get the victory, but that was one of Rupp's best crowds. That being said, Nashville should be home for Kentucky. At least the crowd, or at least let these fans have one game. There is just a difference. And sometimes it's because it's late at night and they've been on Broadway. No, these people were straight out of their cars from driving in, completely sober, and were out of their minds. It's just a different environment when you get down here around these fans. And respectfully to our rich folks who sit there for 100 years of their sweaters, love you too. But when you get this crowd where they can get up front near the game, it's a different animal.
It's the second level of Rupp Arena crowd. It's all of those guys are now on the lower bowl and then extending all the way up to the ceiling. So they were unbelievable. I like the individual pops, especially with Cam Williams when he checks in for the very first time, 7 weeks removed from his foot surgery. Unbelievable pop for him, and you kind of tell that he was, feeling the emotions of all of that. He comes and hits that big shot, and obviously the BG moments and all of that. It just, when the pops in Nashville are so much different than anything else, we felt it. Just, I think probably the biggest of all time, in my opinion. That Ortega shot last year was just you just had to be there kind of moment. So I'm glad that this was just a nice little appetizer, because tomorrow, now that I think some fans were kind of boycotting a little bit of I'll never set foot in Nashville on a Wednesday. No, I think now we're going to get the real crowd starting to trickle in tomorrow.
Tyler, to that point, how good did it feel to exhale? I mean, we all felt confident about the game, but in the back of your brain, there is the what if. And to LSU's credit, they hung around most of the game. As good as Kentucky was offensively, just couldn't get stops, and then finally you get the win, and it's almost like we feel this weight lifted.
Well, and we remember what happened the last time Kentucky played in this building. So to get a win in Nashville, it felt huge. Had lost the last two here by huge margins. The start of the game, I think we all were a little nervous. We had some bad mojo going in our crew. Jack's computer is broken.
Literally broke the second the game started. It broke.
If any of you all work at the Genius Bar at Apple, help my guy out.
I have an appointment at 4:35. So
yeah, it felt great. Even that couldn't dampen the spirits today. The pops we were talking about it. The one for Cam's three was great. The one after BG's, both of his threes back to back, but especially that second one was awesome. The one for Owe's shot near the end. It felt really great, and I love it for these fans who got down here on a Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. They were rewarded with a huge win. Hopefully they're not getting doused in a thunderstorm outside right now. But it was good to have a nice memory in Bridgestone Arena for Kentucky basketball.
We're calling it 11:30 a.m. BG time. It is officially BG time in Nashville. That. You mentioned the Cam moment. I glossed over that because I'm so excited about Brandon. But that was a big, just big for the team to get him out there. I know he didn't play a ton of minutes and wasn't a big world beater out there, but just having Cam Williams play was huge. I think Trent Noah probably affected by that. He never logged in, right?
No,
didn't check in. But just to see Cam Williams out there as we were kind of hovering around warm-ups to see if he could go. I mean, I know BBN and everyone's thrilled about that.
What did he finish with? How many minutes?
17 minutes.
17 minutes. That's way more than I thought. But again, we are seeing the Jaden Quaintance thing and some of the some pushback with how urgent are these guys to come back from injury, and to see him rush the process. He talked about it in the locker room afterwards, saying hey, I was going to do whatever it took to play. I am going to play again for this team. There were some doctors that were like, yeah, but it's a 6 to 8 week injury. There's a chance that that 8 week, if you're on the back end of that, that Kentucky could lose and you might not be able to be a part of it. He said, no, I'm going to be on the front end. He was like, I wanted to play against Florida, but the doctors kind of said, hey, you're a little too sore. Let's rule you out. So he said, I knew there was a 0% chance I was missing this game. So it was cool to see him kind of put his money where his mouth is and say, I'm doing this. He said, as soon as the injury happened and the surgery happened, he said, I knew at that point I was coming back. So it's cool to see it all come together for him.
And another one of those good pops.
Yes.
Indeed.
Big Blue Nation, thrilled to see him. Tomorrow, going to see a little bit of Missouri. We're used to being here waiting for results, but no, weird times here. We've had our eyes on Missouri for a while. One game at a time, but we know they're next. It's no secret. Lost that game, second SEC game of the year. You lose at home in Rupp Arena. They've had some big wins, got a great player in Mark Mitchell, but do you think Cats can, play a little better than they did in that home game in Lexington to start SEC?
Thanks for the handoff there.
Yeah.
Nice pass.
We're going to get 4 mics one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, that game was so long ago. It's, like you said, second game of the SEC season, probably at this point 2 months ago, maybe even more than that, how long ago that game was. So two different teams, 2 different scenarios, 2 different situations. It's an important game for Missouri in terms of their seeding. They're a 10 seed, so if they want to try and bump themselves up and try and avoid that area, go to a 9 or an 8 seed, maybe even beat Florida in the next game, this is a big one for them, and it's a big one for Kentucky as well to try and continue to stay alive here and then get that third rematch with Florida where you actually can try and bump up your seeding if you're Kentucky, whereas the Missouri game probably isn't going to do too much to your actual seed line. So, yes, it's a massive game that's, like I said, two months ago, so you're different teams. You're probably not going to take too much out of what happened the last time, although what we remember is, what was it, a 7-point lead with
4 minutes left.
4 minutes left,
Yeah.
and Kentucky blew that one at home. So that one was tough to deal with, if we're being honest. But both teams have come a long way. So it's going to be kind of a toss-up game, I think, honestly, with how both teams have been playing. So Mark Mitchell's really good. They got some shooters on that team as well in Missouri. So it should be a fun game, and I think it's the first one again. We'll be back here for some breakfast ball again in the morning, which is nice. We actually get to enjoy our evenings here in Nashville. So it will be a very entertaining game, I think. I'm not quite sure which way. I mean, I'm obviously going to be cheering for the Cats, but it's going to be. I'm interested to see what the betting line looks like when that comes out. Is what I'm saying.
We'll have that soon. We gotta shout out. Tyler threw me off there throwing that up. I was gonna play.
Oh.
No, don't show me. I was gonna play. What do tickets cost?
Okay.
We did this before. We learned they're $8 today. Did you see that? What do you think the get-in is?
So for just the one single session? Ooh.
It's got to go up now. We got this enthusiasm. You mentioned that crowd of people that didn't want to come Wednesday. They're all going to be coming down now after they know it's BG time.
We're going $60.
60 American dollars. I'm going to say it's going to be up around 80 right now for Kentucky, Missouri. Early, go to SeatGeek to get your tickets if you're coming down. Use promo code KSR10 for 10% off your order. It's okay if you didn't want to come down today. We get it. It was early. I got up at 5. I'm hurting. They were here last night. It's a lot in Nashville, so we understand. But get here now. No more excuses. You got Thursday. Maybe you win that one. You get a third shot at Florida, but we're focused on Missouri now. Check them out. SeatGeek, KSR10 for the code. Any more thoughts from here? Tyler,
We got to get what the actual what the code.
Oh, yeah, the answer. Sorry.
What would you say, 60
I
and
said
80?
60, 80.
I'll 70. I'll go
What's
with
the difference?
48 American dollars.
48 American
in
dollars.
the door, along with the KSR 10 discount. You all can do the math. That's a deal.
That's
a deal for
480
you, but hop on
480
it 'cause
off.
they're limited. It's an amazing deal for SeatGeek.
Green means good.
Tyler, we're in your city. It's good having a home game for you, right? You like this?
Yeah, it's a 10-minute drive right down my street, so I'm loving it.
We won't give predictions yet, as Zach said, but you feeling good? Get a little momentum? Maybe stack another win here in Nashville?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could have the revenge angle tomorrow versus Missouri. That was a really, depressing home loss at Rupp. So if that can't get the guys up for this, then what can? I mean, good vibes only, right?
Yep, and if you're...
Jack's computer fixed.
That's right. And if you're here or making your way down, shout out your Sources Say show tonight at John Bon Jovi's, a little 7
JBJ's.
Central. 7 BG.
Good call. Fourth floor. Meet us there 7 p.m. Central. It'll be if you guys want to come and be. Anybody wants to be a part of it, we can.
I'll hop in there.
That would be.
Don't threaten me with a good time, Jack Pilgrim.
7 p.m. BG time at John Bon Jovi's JBJ's at 4th floor.
All right. We'll see you tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Win or lose, we'll do another Raptor reaction. Hopefully a win. But today, as I said with Tyler, we exhaled. Worst case scenarios out of the way. Get a little momentum going, and who knows? Maybe they'll get that 5-5 Mark Pope's talking about. But let's start with 2. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Cats.